Put your hands in the air right now.
This is Brother Afrika Bambaataa of the Almighty Universal Zulu Nation, the Arm & Ra of Universal Hip Hop Culture, who came out with many of the funky songs like Planet Rock, Looking for the Perfect Beat, Peace, Unity, Love, and Having Fun with James Brown, World Destruction with John Lydon, and many other different artists that I have worked with all over this earth. Well, this is the 40th anniversary of hip hop culture and the 41st anniversary of the Universal Zulu Nation, paying tribute to the great King of Soul, James Brown, the Honorable Sly and the Family Stone, Uncle George Parliament Funkadelic Clinton, and all the great pioneers of hip-hop culture all over this great planet that we call Earth. Well, it definitely feels great, honorable, and so good to know that hip-hop culture has spread from land to land, country to country, city to city, and town to town, all over our great planet. And even beyond our planet, the extraterrestrials that's been coming here are getting down to the funky sounds of hip-hop music and hip-hop culture. And as we become galactic human beings, you're going to see it spread into other different forms as we start traveling throughout the universe. Well, through the Universal Zulu Nation, we made sure that it was going to start spreading from many of the different places on this planet and bringing the different ideologies of the great music of hip-hop and all the different sounds that took from many other sounds that came before what was called hip-hop, whether it be from the soca, the raga, the salsa, the break beats, the James Browns, and all that other funky stuff. We made sure that this is going to happen all over our great planet. It's just that we got to make sure that these radio stations, these program directors, keep playing all the different flavors of hip-hop, and not just hip-hop. We don't care if it's funk, soul, salsa, calypso, rock, jazz, house music, techno. We meaning play the old with the new with the old, for it becomes true school. But rap is another form of hip-hop culture. It's part of hip-hop culture. Most people, when they say hip-hop, they think of a rapper. But you're leaving out the B-boys, the B-girls, the aerosol writers, the DJs, the MCs, and that fifth element that holds it all together, it was just the knowledge. Without knowledge, all these different things couldn't happen. Well, the Universal Zulu Nation was on the East Coast and the West Coast, as well as the South and the North, so we never had problems like that. I blame the industry and so-called program directors programming the minds of the masses of the people and not playing old with the new with the old when it becomes true school. So if you're going to play something that's going to call a woman a B name or use the N-word, then we need something that's talking about gods and goddesses or fight the power. So I blame a lot of these program directors at these so-called stations that didn't play all the different categories of the music. Well, James Brown is the King of Soul. We got to bring him back to his rightful status. Not the Godfather, that he did that because he did the movie Black Caesar. We must bring him back to the King of Soul. Because you wouldn't call Elvis Presley the Godfather of rock. You wouldn't call Michael Jackson the Godfather of pop. So bring James Brown back to his rightful status as the King of Soul. James Brown needs to have a holiday. Well, we took that title because James took the title Godfather. When James said he was the Godfather of this and that, that's when you had the Godfather of hip-hop, you had the Godfather of go-go, you had the Godfather of this, the Godfather of funk and all that. But we got to bring it back to the King of Soul. That's why people last millennium, they called me the Godfather of hip-hop. This millennium, they call me the Arm & Ra of universal hip-hop culture. So we're going back to using our African words like Amen or Mayat or Bastet or any of the great names that we call from the indigenous side of us as indigenous Moors. Well, we want the youth to recognize what you got here as a culture called hip-hop and understand it, understand it, and overstand it. Do some research on what was here before for you can know where you're at now, for you can know where we're going for the future. Don't look at it just for music or making money. Know behind the politics or the politics of the industry. Know what can you build using hip-hop culture. Know that hip-hop culture could save lives, could save buildings. We get political and we get organized. You can even put somebody in the presidency seat if we was organized. Well, it's definitely lagging some health issues, meaning that we should have health insurance for a lot of the people who are in hip-hop culture, the same with many people who's in soul or R&B, and that there should be health insurance for the brothers and sisters. There should be things that we building buildings and getting land and making centers to keep our youth out of trouble and doing certain things. We're trying to build a universal Zulu Nation hip-hop cultural center, a dome building, which will be like a United Nations of the streets. This is something separate. We want the hip-hop museum where we could give the glorified history of hip-hop, how it has saved so many people's lives, more than all the politicians put together on the planet. But we want to build a Universal Zulu Nation Cultural Dome building. We want one everywhere. New York, in Brazil, or in Africa. This is like our embassies in hip-hop. Well, Cornell University, as I said, is one of the first who honor us. And it was a shame on New York City that didn't take and make a museum here. It was Cornell University that opened the doors to put a lot of our archives to keep it protected up in Cornell, where we was trying to get a hip-hop museum here. Now we're trying to work to get a hip-hop museum here. So we have our archives in Cornell, we have our archives down here in New York. Then they also have a museum thing that's trying to happen down in Texas. So we're trying to archive a lot of our stuff all over the great continent of the United States of America. To all my brothers and sisters, whether they be in Universal Zulu Nation or any other group out there, honor yourself, love your people, each one, teach one, feed one, and help one. Well, I've been making a lot of music with different groups, the Mighty Macumbos in Germany. I've been doing some hip house with a lot of groups up in Italia, what is known as Italy. I've been making music down in Brazil with a lot of the Brazilian Bali funk. So, you know, I'm always still traveling, doing a lot of different things with different people on this great planet. We at the Club Miss up here in Harlem, New York Republic territory, and we over here enjoying ourselves for the 40th anniversary of hip-hop culture and the 41st anniversary of the Universal Zulu Nation, paying tribute to James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, George Parliament, Funkadelic Clinton, Bootsy, and all the great pioneers and architects of hip-hop culture. Yes, this is Brother Afrika Bambaataa, Almighty Universal Zulu Nation, and you're watching Posse TV. Recognize what they're trying to do for you, by the people, for the people.